Hello, everybody. Welcome to Comic Core Unlimited, your Wednesday night show. We are a little bit late. Slab Dragon already throwing us under the bus. It was not my fault. We were just having a good little chat before we went live, but welcome to the Comic Core channel. You better subscribe. I'm sure if you're here, you have subscribed. You should hit that notification bell. This channel is producing content by so many members of the community. It is not a one-man show. This is a one-woman, one-man, every different night of the week show. And you never know what you're going to find. So if you stick around on this channel, there's pretty much guaranteed to find something great. Tonight is Comic Core Unlimited. We are hosted, as always, by Mr. JD. JD, how you doing, man?
Good seeing everybody out there. How's good seeing the panel here. We brought on a little special guest. And we'll get to him, I guess, in a little bit, but doing good.
And he had Golden Guys last night.
Yeah.
That went well. It was a really good show. It was a slightly different format, and I really enjoyed it personally.
Yeah, it was kind of like we'll have a discussion, and then if we think we're losing the audience, we'll explain it how it might relate to something that you guys are going with. So.
Yeah, so check it out. If you guys missed that last night, rewind, check it out.
Yeah, I caught it this morning. I fell asleep last night too early, and I caught it this morning on the rewind.
Good.
I watched the whole thing last night, and it was very good.
Cool.
And there's our man, Jason, Mr. Comics Misexplained. How are you doing, sir? I love the shirt. Is that the White Lantern? Is that what that
Black
is?
Lantern.
Black Lantern.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm on like issue 51, I think.
Oh, man. You're in for a treat, bro. It's so wild, man.
Good.
Like, I think Sinestro Corps overall, I think might be my favorite story arc, but like the art and like the intenseness of like the Black Lanterns, man, Darkest Night, like that was so sick, dude. I love seeing the zombies and stuff. It was so cool.
That's the only one I've yet to read. I bought the original trade Blackest Night, but I've also wanted to read Blackest Night Green Lantern Corps and Blackest Night Green Lantern. And I think I mentioned on the show that on Free Comic Book Day, my LCS had full sets of the issues for those two storylines.
Nice.
That's
sitting
awesome.
there, even though they don't print the trades anymore. So I just grabbed, I bought both. So now I can kind of read the main title and then throw in the individual issues where they go as I go along.
That rules. I want to do that because I missed out on a lot of that stuff. You know, I pretty much just read the main basic issues and I missed out on all the cool tie-ins. That one is one I'd really like to read from like start to beginning, every single issue. I tried doing that with Secret Wars and New Event. I did it mostly with the new Avengers. Tried it with Secret Invasion. Sorry, I meant Secret Invasion. And I read 50 out of 100 tie-ins.
It's a tough one.
Secret Invasion. I gave up. Yeah, but I read most of Secret Invasion. It was cool just seeing all the weird who's who stuff, you know. But I'd love to do that with Darkest Night. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mighty Avengers Secret Invasion is probably one of the best. Is probably the best of that run. Yeah, that was a good one.
And then, as you might have noticed, we have a special guest joining us. We're going to get another con breakdown, MegaCon chat from Mr. Caleb, the Comic Smurf, our Florida representative. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I'm kicking it like a fat rat in a cheese factory. Dude, I got comic books surrounding me tonight. The con was incredible. Got to meet a bunch of great people from the community. Had a blast. Got to meet some creators. Just overall a really great time and a really massive convention.
And your whole Rocket Raccoon world behind you there is just growing. I see the Satana. I see the poster. Everything's going up.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so stoked to have this book.
I was going to say there's a few that were on the CGC website. I just didn't like. That looks like a really nice condition book. Congrats on your
It's got a little rip on the top right corner, like not even a quarter inch.
Yeah. Magazines are tough to get good grades on. I mean,
these ones are gorgeous. These are definitely 9/8 candidates for sure.
Oh, nice. The mini series?
Yeah. I had number 1 and I didn't have the rest of them.
I love those.
I went ahead and picked them up.
From the late 80s, those are great.
Mignola, man.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's how you found out about a lot of new characters and stuff like that.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's shout out our chat here. We got Caleb, obviously first one in the chat, but then TJ in there. Got Mr. Just a Rican and his comics who joined us last week. It was a lot of fun having on here. So thank you for doing that, Rod, and we'll have you back soon, I'm sure. Comic Books NYC, who did a great show on Monday night on his channel looking at Batman, and I got a chance to hang out and talk Hush. We have Comics Misexplained. Jason is in there. 90 Miles from Comics Chad. He had a couple of shows earlier, one today and one yesterday, I want to say. Mr. Gretzky is in here. Thank you for coming, sir. Stephen Oates is in your comics with Bueller. Good to see you, sir. He's got T-shirts now. He's super swag. He's only got a couple left, though. I think they're almost all gone. RJ Taylor is in the chat. Let's see. Wolf Warner's in the chat. And I think I got everybody, and they're already all wanting to talk Tom King, but they're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
We don't want to make Jason cry early. Instead, we're going to jump to JD and the reading list. What are you reading, JD?
Hey, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it. That was really cool. Nice, a lot of people in the chat. Unfortunately, this week is, well, not unfortunately, everything this week is going to be War of the Realms related that I read. Outside of, I picked up the Marvel Annotated, these two, the Alex Ross cover Silver Surfer and the Gabriel Dell'Otto. These were just normal price books. I think they were like $1 more. They're cool. It's like painted inside art. It's different.
I want to get those. Yeah, dude, they're just so nice.
I mean, I always like that kind of stuff. I used to think it's cool that they put out like a premium book, a book that's not just a comic book, but more of like it's kind of like a snobby version of a comic. It really is. It's got a lot more words. Anyway, and my local comic shop didn't come through on Goon. Their package.
Oh, bro.
Well, here's the deal. Wasn't a chance to get Goon or Bone Parish, or a big one was this new one from IDW came out called Bone of Roads, a Road of Bones.
See, I passed on that one today,
man. I think that's good. I mean, I'm hearing that's a guy who used to write for the Turtles, but I'm hearing that's a very different book, and I don't really recognize much about it, but I just heard it's different, and I wanted to get it. I didn't get it, so I'll just pick it up another time. But what I did read, all War of the Realms related. I'm going to go down stuff you might like here. The New Ages of Atlas, I wasn't going to get it last time I got the Greg Pak. I says maybe it's not necessary. I got another one. It's better. 2 is a better book. I think it's I kind of get used to who these characters are, and I think there's something that's going to happen with this. This is a pretty amazing cast as it's laid out. So I would say think about it. Agents of Atlas, it's pretty cool. I think it's going to be around right there. The Avengers, which is Avengers 19. This is pretty crazy what's going on. And if you're following the regular War of the Realms, it's kind of all around where it is right now. Some is before, some is after. Like some of this you find out how, Journey into Mystery is a good one, and Strike Force. How Spider-Man, how they ride the Pegasuses in the latest one, that backstory. The Journey in the Mystery one brings back old school Ghost Rider.
Sick
scene, amazing.
Dude,
scene.
I saw that cover. I was like, oh yeah. I watched a review, and some guy was like, yeah, it looks like Moon Knight and the Horse. I'm like, dude, that's got to be old school Ghost Rider. Like,
but exactly what it says on the thing. Oh, it's Cowboy Ghost, or is it Wild West? It's Wild West Moon Knight. That's what somebody said.
That's funny.
It's Wild West Moon Knight. It's great.
Oh, I need that. That's so good.
Such a classic. It's Journey and Mysteries. I've loved all the Journey and Mysteries. I think they're great tie-ins to get. They're one-shots. They really, they're not this is the continuing stories, but they're easy reads, nothing crazy. New Ages of Atlas I got into. This is a pretty good. It's a change of pace for them. Marvel Avengers was really solid. Kind of goes back to the whole. You're dealing with everybody in this one. This is the main protagonist of this particular issue is somebody that not everybody's going to be familiar with. Kind of a new character. He's a gorilla. So, you know who that is. That's pretty cool. It's a whole based around him. It's good. And my pick of the week, absolutely, Cullen Bunn nailed it. This is better than most. This is ridiculously good.
I'm so ashamed because they've been putting those in my poll each time Venom, because I usually pull Venom, but I put them back both last week and last time and this time.
The Cullen Bunn has knocked it out of the park.
That suit is freaking epic, bro.
It's not exactly a Venom symbiote.
It's like magic, right?
Yes, and it's from these crazy witches. And what he can do is he becomes various. It's just very different.
Dude, the way it ended, bro. I cannot wait
control.
for the next issue, man.
Yeah, exactly. This is why this is my pick of the week. This
Oh,
is
man.
the cliffhanger of the week right there. Again, I didn't read anything else other than I heard about Tom King's obituary. We'll get into that later. But
Why you want to make Jason cry, man? Come on.
Tears of joy, man. Not gone too soon. Not soon enough.
I didn't
Not
say they
soon
were
enough.
Too late.
Yeah, not soon enough, man. Gone too late.
So thank you guys very much. So now I'm going to ask John. You get to go early this time. What are you reading?
I'll tell you, I actually got home and read a few. This was a DC week for me. I was going DC crazy. I don't think I got a single Marvel book this week. I was listening to Rod has a great show on Tuesdays called Buy or Pass. And I was in the chat a little bit there watching him and Edwin, the comic jabroni, and Perry's Comics discuss this Flash year one. And they're saying that this new storyline just started an issue back, and issue 2 just dropped today. So I snagged both of these. And as a jumping on point for like early Flash storylines, I thought it was pretty good. I've not read a lot of Flash, and I really enjoyed it. So this was issues 70 and 71 from Flash. Anybody else reading Flash?
Yeah, I read 70. I didn't get to read the new one yet. But yeah, I want to. I really think it's really cool how he's doing the year one story and kind of intertwining like a new story that we really haven't seen before or heard. So at least it seemed like that in the first issue. So looking forward to how it develops.
I haven't read Flash in a while since like the Phil Hester days and stuff like that. So it's been a while. Is it easy to pick up?
Yeah, I mean, issue 70 was still on my shelf at my LCS, and
is there a lot
easy to follow along?
Yeah.
I mean, it jumps right in at like him as a little kid, and then it
Barry Allen
Barry Allen as a little kid is like the first panel of issue 70, and then after a little thing with his mom, it jumps to him on a crime scene, and it just catches you up on who he is, what he does. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have anything.
I want to go back to. I used to be a big Flash fan back in. It was like one of the DC books I used to have. Was a lot of Flash. It was one of the few Flash and Swamp Thing, but
that's what made me pick it up. Everybody's saying it's a great jumping on point.
Yeah, Josh Williams has been doing Flash since Rebirth. Like he's still one of the few writers that's been riding the same character, like for the whole entire like transition periods, and yeah, he's still going.
It's like Jason Aaron with Thor, just got better.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's gonna stop.
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, I recommend Flash, dude. Like, it's I guess where to start. Like, maybe I would recommend maybe starting at Flash War, so you get that little, not Barry Allen, Wally West. Yeah, a little Wally West action, and see how he kind of transitioned off, and then go from there. He goes into like the Speed Force kind of, or different forces besides the Speed Force, like the Slow Force and the Sage Force, and some other explanations of forces. And then it kind of keeps building. And then it kind of, Williamson, like some of the stories take a little dip. They get sidetracked a little bit, but they always come back around eventually. Like I skipped all the Grodd stuff. I'm like, another Grodd story. Like I don't want to read about Gorilla Grodd over and over again.
I mean, that's Flash's villain. I mean,
yeah.
That's his Joker. That's his Lex Luthor. Other than
this storyline out. Yeah, this storyline hasn't dropped a major big bad. They've got a character named the Turtle who I've never heard of before. And I was like, okay, well, that's, so for me as like a Flash rookie, that's kind of was my hook, was like, I want to learn about Barry. So the villain was kind of like secondary for me. Whoop. So I'm getting a phone call.
Yeah, that brings up the Slow Force. I guess I'm assuming the Turtles power the Slow Force. At least it was like that before previously. and we talk about there's like some other like crisis things that happened, and also stuff inside Justice League that involved the Slow Force, which Turtle was in charge of. So all of it's all connected, and he's riding really close with Scott Snyder as well. So it's all like connected, unlike King, which just doesn't make any sense and never really connects. And now they're trying to. Snyder's trying to clean up all that mess.
Gotcha.
So.
Nice. So I read those. I finally got around to reading this issue of the Green Lantern because I knew it would be a heavy read. So I kind of waited a little bit to like spend time on it. This is issue 7 of the Morrison run. This is like all story taking place inside the Ring. And I thought this was amazing. I'm not even a huge Green Lantern fan, and I really got into this. It's a standalone story.
Is it takes place in the Valthum Ring, or is it his Green Lantern?
It's his Green Lantern ring.
Okay.
He has basically, I guess in the issue before this, he's nearly killed and the ring absorbs him to keep him alive. And so he awakens inside the ring to see that the ring is dying because it's running out of power and there's nobody to charge it because he's in the ring. And it's just sort of drifting in space. And if it drifts down low enough, the ring will die and he'll die in it.
Wow, that's really cool.
And so apparently there's this whole world inside of the ring. It's actually fascinating.
Yeah, that's really cool. That concept was inside the Phantom ring in a couple past storylines, I believe, in the Green Lanterns, or I think because there was at the time there was Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, and then there was Green Lanterns. I think the Val Thume story took place in the Green Lanterns book, but
Gotcha.
that one was I think the Phantom Lantern. It was like the first ring ever made by the guy Val Thume. He was the one that held the power, but in there they went into the ring and it kind of brought up like everyone's fears and stuff and worse like nightmares and memories they had to fight through to get out of the ring. But that was always a cool concept, and I would really like to read.
Yeah, and it's almost written. It's written with like a almost. There's elements that are poetry. There's elements that are written like a novel. It's really an unusual form that the book takes, which is perfect because it's so abstract and classic Morrison, kind of like just out there, wild.
Yeah, if it's Grant Morrison, eventually it's going to take whatever it is and turn it upside down eventually.
And that's what this one does for me, at least as a.
I mean, everything. Marvel, doesn't matter what he's ever written. It's great.
Yeah.
I like Grant Morrison. I think sometimes he goes a little bit way too, but yeah.
So those are the ones I read, and then I've been working my way through Kirby's Mr. Miracle. So I'm about halfway through the 18-issue run of that. It's a hard read for me because it's a lot more talking, a lot more dialogue, and the characters are a little campy in some sequences, and I struggle with camp, but I'm entertained with the sort of universe and the way it connects to what King did for Mr. Miracle, which Jason and I were talking about beforehand a little bit. And so I was kind of looking forward to see how that all bridged together. And I've been buying some of the original issues, so I kind of wanted to be able to read them. So I've been working.
Had to get that hardcover, bro. Had to get the hardcover.
Is that the one? And is it up? Have you read it? Is it upside down?
I haven't opened it. I'm saving it because I have all the single issues, all the covers, all first print. I think my #1 signed by King, and like I think the B Carrot cover signed. Also, their convention exclusive one with the silver foil cover. That one I got signed by both Jared's and King. So I love Mr. Miracle, man. I think it's awesome. One of the best comic series ever written, in my opinion. But I got this just in case I want to go for some of my grails. I've been trying to find some older Batman books where he's holding a gun. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll start selling off some of my collection and put that money towards a grail. But then I'll have this story to read whenever I want to instead of my single issues. So
Chris from I Got Issues did a little video on his Instagram showing the book and how he opened it and it was upside down, like the internal.
Cool.
He might have been messing with the dust jacket just to mess with me. Like, but part of me was like, I totally would buy it. It's such a psychological trip. I would buy it, but he might have just been totally messing with me.
I hear it's like I couldn't find it at the time. Like when I found it at the store, at one of my some comic book store down here, I was like, let me see if it's even on eBay or like even online or Amazon or anywhere. I couldn't find it, and apparently it's like a comic book store exclusive. And this comic book store I was at only had one, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that while I can because who knows? Like
absolutely.
And then for book club, we were supposed to read Teen Titans #1, the Wolfman Perez run, and I've got the trade, and I'm finally starting to get into that. Yeah, we're doing something different. Alec and I get frustrated on these weeks when we're looking at the choices and we're like, I don't know any of this stuff. Is it going to be any complete crapshoot?
You constantly do #1s and
So what we're starting to do is old comic book day book club. We're just going to go back and grab something that we both want to try out that we've never read.
Wolfman's a great way to start. Yeah. So
we're both diving in. We're going to be chatting up tonight. The new Teen Titans Wolfman Perez issue #1.
Nice.
And then there's a bunch that I bought that I wasn't able to read yet. I finally got the last issue for cover, the Bendis storyline, which I was enjoying. I just somehow missed the last issue, so I snagged that. I got the new Middle West. I'm excited to read that.
Came out.
I've been really enjoying it. I know different people are passionate or less passionate about it, but I've never been disappointed. And this cover, I think, is just really beautiful. The tornado of his dad is just so beautifully caught there. Thanks to the incessant sort of noise of the great legend, who I haven't seen in the chat yet. I'm still catching up on my farmhand. So here's issue 6 for that. Although he'll probably be mad that I've never read Chew. So
I never read. Yeah, I never read those either. There's so much stuff I want to read. It's like I'll get to it eventually.
There is,
You know?
there is a
I
lot
would
of books out
recommend
there.
something that I have a feeling is coming back in a way. Is East of West is one of my favorite reads.
See, I've got that behind the counter at the comic shop, just
Yeah.
waiting till I whittle
I've yet
down
to-
some of the stuff I'm
There's
reading
so
now.
many issues in that already. I've yet to touch it. It's just too daunting for me, but I want to get to it because I love Hickman. He's one of my favorite writers of all time. You know, that one, and also he's bringing back Black Monday Murders. He's going to finish the story finally. So I'm super stoked because that's my favorite comic series of all time.
Yeah,
so,
I read the first, I don't know how many, 5, 6 trades now I've had. But I used to read the books, and then I took a break because I said I'm going to take a break and I'm going to do the trades on that alone. Just because Image is just too many books, and you don't know when they're coming out. You need the trades.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, oh
I
yeah.
always recommend Image trades. And I saw book 9 came out today, and I'm like, all right, I need one more, and I'm going to go back to spending a week doing nothing but East of West. And it's
awesome
because it's one of those books that I consider East of West a great novel that's never ending. You know,
That's awesome.
It just
That's
there's no
super
arcs.
awesome.
The arcs are continuously running. It's his finest work, in my opinion.
All right, so my last one, I got Faithless, the other inappropriate cover.
Oh.
I haven't opened it; it's still sealed up.
I
But I've
watched
seen
an
an
unbagging.
image
Still
of
my
it
heart.
online.
Still my heart. You bought the nudie copy, huh?
I watched an unbagging of that today, dude.
Oh man,
I was really curious to see what I almost ordered. I wanted to order it. So
I wanted to
I'll
see
still
the
get it.
second cover. Was it cover the second print cover?
Right.
Cover of issue 1.
Right, I didn't get to see that yet either.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've got that one sealed. If I want to ever like sell it or whatever, I can.
It's
But
funny
that
that
cover-
they'll feel that, but if you ever go to a shop with a bunch of Zetascopes, you're like, all right, that's a great wall. You know?
that issue 2 there, that cover is like woo. Like
yes, I
that's
saw a
something
photo
else,
for
man.
that cover. Very, very, woo.
It's very metal. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Jason, what have you been reading? What did you get a chance to check out?
Well, as I told you guys before we started, like last night I went to bed with like my contacts on and woke up and like my eye was like super red and burning. So I took out my contact, threw it away, rinsed my eyes out, and just let it cry itself until it stopped, you know? So it was hard for me to even look at a screen or like lights or anything today. So I missed out on reading a lot of stuff, but I tried to bear through it with one eye for a while. So I read Action Comics, Bendis. I don't like his Superman or his Action Comics, but man, this issue was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Like straight off the bat, awesome action. It was almost like a John Wick kind of like scene in the beginning. He's just going total like balls to the wall, like spy thriller.
This is
now,
the
at this point.
Leviathan one,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. Yeah, that's way better than the Rogals are, as you know, Roger Zarn, as my friends like to call him, making fun of the name. But yeah, man, I love this issue, Action Comics. It's really cool. And if you're gonna read the event Leviathan, I recommend you read this issue because you know it says like to be continued in event Leviathan. So this is kind of like a prelude to that, I would say. And it kind of gives you some backstory of stuff you missed in Action Comics prior issues. So it's a good catching up issue if you missed out on all the Action Comics. Next one I read was Detective Comics 1004. And it goes into the Arkham Knight's background and who she is and what she went through to make her transform into the Arkham Knight. I'm not sure if you guys are reading Detective at all, or if you mind me spoiling.
I haven't
anything.
been, but clearly I should have been because everybody's telling me it's really good.
It's really good, man. Like apparently, like when she was a kid, like her mom and her dad work, with the inmates and treating them, and as I think therapists and doctors and stuff. And there's a prison break, and the mom was pregnant, with her, and Clayface and Joker and all the pretty much Batman's rogues gallery were protecting the mom because she was the one like person or therapist that really got along or tried to help them and went the extra mile to extend with some generous helps in any of their situations. And like she gave birth, and Clayface made like a little like drape to try to hide her out of Clay, and stuff, and everyone's kind of watching out for her. And then all of a sudden a batarang comes through Clayface's like little drape and gets the mom right in the artery, dude, like right in the neck, and she just like bleeds to death. And so everyone like just kind of goes back to their prison cells, and the dad always just tried to hide it from like I guess the girl, and eventually she got older and watched the tapes and stuff, and and that issue though, Batman was like, yeah, but if you watch the tapes, do you think it was it was clearly evident that he didn't throw that batarang. It was like another inmate that threw it. Apparently, it wasn't him that killed the mom. But I guess the dad was like, yeah, it just seemed like it was the only thing she could latch onto for like hope or stuff. So like he's like, just let her think that, So I was like,
Bad
oh, good job,
therapist,
Dad.
Dad.
Yeah, man. So like now Batman has to deal with that. But it was really good, man. It felt like a little wordy, and it took a while to go through, but it's interesting subject matter if you really want to find out who the Arkham Knight and the motivations behind that character. So recommend Detective Comics. And then last one I got to read was Justice League Dark. And that continues to be awesome, man. I love Tynion's this run, but you have to read this from issue 1, and also the Wonder Woman tie-in that they did with Hecate and all that magic stuff. Like, you have to read this from the beginning, because if you jump in now, like, you're gonna have no idea what's going on.
That's the Witching Hour storyline.
Yeah,
right?
the Witching Hour stuff too.
Nice.
Yeah,
I have those. I just haven't read them yet.
Good. It's so good, but you got to read them all in once. Like, remember everything. Like, each time I start Justice League Dark, I'm like, awesome. I love this comic so much, and then I'm like, what was happening last month? Like, I always forget. Then I'm like, oh yeah, like I kind of remember that, and it kind of makes you like care like a little less.
That's how Doomsday Clock is for me.
Oh yeah, dude, same thing. Yeah, that one's even more delayed. It's like that one. There's just some comics you got to read in trade, and it's fantastic, awesome story, but it doesn't do it justice when it's like kind of monthly, But recommend all those books. But yeah, that's all I got to go through today.
What about you, Caleb? What have you been reading lately, man?
Alrighty, I only picked up 4 books today. Most of them, 3 of them were indies, 1 Marvel. I picked up the Venom as well. I got the Battle Lines variant. Everybody says this is cover of the week. I don't think it's cover of the week, but cool. It is a great story and a great cover. What was that?
That's really cool. What's your favorite then? The Faithless 2?
Cover of the week. Nah, cover of the week's going to Mad Cave, Honor and Curse #4, dude. It's a shinobi story. They give you some more history on where these 2 shinobis came from. Dude, it's a great storyline, great artwork inside. Also, there was a lot of good covers this week, but each good cover had a great story as well. So The Goon, my comic shop was one of the ones that didn't get them damaged or got them at all. I heard a couple people had problems getting this book today, but dude, it was hilarious. It's like they got the vampire Vinny, dude. It's funny, man. But pick of the week, dude. Gotta go with Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda, Monstrous #22.
People are talking about that at the shop today.
Dude, my little fox, man. Kippa's awesome. And like in this, little Kippa's being hunted by these people that are trying to kidnap her, or did kidnap her. She escaped, ran down into this dark pit, and that's where the last issue left you off, right? So she's being pursued. One of the bounty hunters got down there with her, and apparently they stumbled across an old god. So like in all this other chick's like, are you just too stupid to be afraid? And Kippa's like, no, this just ain't so bad. Dude, I freaking love how happy this little fox is, dude. It just makes my day every time I read one of these. So if you're not reading Monstrous, go back and get the trades and catch up, dude. This book is amazing. That's my recent reads, other than Geoff John's Blackest Night, Green Lantern, dude. That stuff is fire.
Yeah, I got to catch up, because the book club is going to be Green Lantern book club is going to be up on me soon enough. I just know it.
So last night I was searching on eBay, and I know we talked about the Criminal hardcover, trying to find like that deluxe edition, and it's like impossible to find pretty much for volume 1. And I found one last night on eBay. Someone put up volume 1 and volume 2 deluxe edition for $130. And so, yeah, I got gotten both. Yeah. So I'm stoked to be getting that. And then also picked up because of JD's Golden Guys show, man. I picked up a facsimile of like photocopy comic of Suspense Comics #3, just so I can read it, So I'm like super stoked to get that, man. Just like that weird, just cult looking cover, Yep. So awesome. Then I ordered like 200 bags and boards, because I gotta box away a lot of stuff to stacks. But yeah, man, I just wanted to tell you guys that before we go on to the next stuff.
I've been buying a lot of bags and boards lately too.
Yeah, I gotta go back to bag and board and stuff. I used to double bag all my stuff, so one like stuff that was like your dollar bin stuff that you have, your run fillers. I can't do it anymore. Now I got to do it all over because I'm like, these things are getting ruined. Because you never know what's going to be a big book now. If somebody tells me Silver Surfer 60 is going to be a big book, I'm like, yeah, ruin that one. You know? Yeah, that's the problem when you have them all. It's like
so many.
So we invited Caleb on here because we try to do in this con season when we can a little con breakdown, a little review discussion on what happened, what's going down. And Caleb was man on the scene there at Orlando at MegaCon, and we wanted to kind of get some word from him about how it went, what he saw, what he bought, what he felt about the whole experience. So what are you feeling there, Caleb?
First off, I got to just say, man, this community is awesome. I got to meet up with Alec. I got to meet up with Rod. I got to meet up with Steve Whiting, dude. We had a great time. I wish I would have went Sunday to meet Chad and Hialeah and everybody, but it just didn't, Javi, and it just didn't fall in the cards. But, man, this was my first big con, and this place was massive, like massive. I was riding my longboard around the outside of it before it started because I got there early because I live right down the road, basically. And the line was already forming, dude. And they had, like, a drum roll team inside playing drums while people were waiting in line to get into this thing, dude. Like, it was on another level. So there was tons of comic books, but the main thing about this place was Artist Alley and all the creators they had there. It was definitely over 100 creators. Easy. And like most of them didn't even have lines. I just walked up to them and got remarks. I got my Marguerite Bennett. It says, I'm going to F you up with a little Batwoman. I got some Peter Tomasi remark. Where'd you park the Batmobile? And then just a couple others. Just awesome stuff. Awesome creators. Had a blast doing that. I picked up one of my grails.
Yeah, you did.
I got my Satana.
Yeah,
that Marvel preview, that first back in the day when he was Rocky.
I was so
Rocket's
glad
another one of those guys.
You found a good copy for yourself.
Yeah, man, I was so stoked, and I found it on the first day, and I bought it the second day.
Good for you.
Oh yeah, and then I got some crispy clean copies to finish off the miniseries by Mike Mignola. And dude, this is probably one of my favorite covers of all time. Because I'm not a really big fan of clowns either. I don't have a phobia of them, but it's just awesome seeing him toting the head of a clown he cut off on a horse. Dude, he's like armored out on an armored horse. Saber in hand with the clown head in his other.
Now, I know Mike Mignola did the whole book.
Yeah, he did the interiors as well.
Okay, very cool.
And then I've got the preview before it came out, the first cover that Mike Mignola did of Rocket.
Yeah.
Picked up a print. I got me a Rocket in group print up there on the wall. T. Santiago artist. It was like $10, man. Super. There was tons of great deals. Just, man, I had a blast, dude. Meeting Alec was awesome, dude. Meeting Steve and Rod was super cool. Dude, everybody just it's awesome. It's like you already know everybody, you know? So
yeah,
it's like you've been old friends.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so great that experience that you got to experience that, because you know, it's one of those things. It's your first big con, and you're going in there and you meet up with people that, you know, the community that, you know, whether you met them in person or not, you're going to be the same people when you hang out with each other, you know? You know? But it was just it's one of those moments that, you know, you're always going to remember that was your first big con. I was perfect. You know,
it absolutely was, man.
My
legs were sore for days afterwards.
Yeah,
but it was so worth it.
I kind of missed the day. Well, here it is. It doesn't get any better.
Heck no, it doesn't. I can only imagine.
I mean, I do 8 a year, and you know, I had to back out of one I have media passes for, just because I'm like, all right, I got this one, but I can't do that one and this one and do everything else. So, but I'm going to like 4 or 5 coming up. So, and I'm excited because I'm going to meet some people at each one.
Oh yeah, see, that's the best part. That was my favorite part of it.
Yeah,
and the bacon, egg, and cheese waffle with the little cup of syrup you dump on. Oh man, it was so good, dude.
Good for you. Good for you.
Dude, it was like a bacon, egg, and cheese waffle taco, basically. It was amazing.
You know, it's great because I think you know, all of us have now had this experience. Okay, we've all had this experience, and whether it be Gone Too Soon over there, Jason, me too, John with Jeffrey, or
Yep.
John with Jeffrey,
John Free, King John Free.
King
John Free, dude.
and then of course you've got Caleb with Rod and Alec and Steve
Yeah,
White.
we need a Caleb shirt where it's like a Smurf, but it's like a mouse and it's fat, kicking in a cheese factory eating cheese. Like a book, some books in his hand, like sitting on a pile of comics.
Dude, that would be awesome.
That's what we need.
We do have a Comic Smurf shirt now, though.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, Chad said he made one. I gotta see what it looks like.
So
I know we can't talk about Game of Thrones, but how awesome is it that we were making the King John Free joke and everything, and then at the end, somebody that did absolutely jack crap the whole time becomes king, dude. I freaking loved it. I thought, dude, it's
I didn't do jack crap. I did all kinds of things. I'm valuable.
Whatever, John. You're always late. Your girls
I'm the
carry your
winner.
show.
I'm the
Don't
winner.
even start.
Wakanda forever.
Funny. Well, anyway, the experience of that moment. Now Caleb's sharing it. That's what, honestly, I'm going to say. That's kind of 90% of the reason I think Comic Core is doing what we're doing. It's so you guys meet us, not just us, but each other, and I will always say that there will always be a spot on Unlimited for anybody who is going to a con coming up. Tell us who you're going to meet. And then, we'll call this the con segment where we bring somebody in. Whether I'm going to a con or not, I want to hear from other people and tell us what you're doing, where you're going, what can we look out for. Tell us about it, Because you never know.
Alec got a Catwoman commission from Jay Lee at this con.
Nice.
I'm sure he's eventually going to show it. It's gone to CGC right now, but dude, it was awesome.
Oh, he got it on the comic cover?
Yeah, dude, it was super awesome.
Jay Lee's pretty good one to get. I mean, that's one of those. I always wish I actually paid the money to have a more elaborate one done back in the day, because I was like, I'm just gonna give him. I just did the free sketches back then. Now people are paying like $100 for that. I'm like, that didn't cost anything. But now I'm paying money for, sketches left and right. You got to see one I have coming up. I'll show it next week if I get it. So,
dude, I'm really wanting one of them freaking original comic pages, bro. There was a couple creators that had their little boxes set up, dude. Oh, I was flipping through them and I just was like, dang, I want it so bad.
When you guys first went to your con, and I know Compass Explains been going to a lot. When you started going to con, were you surprised how much original art was actually there?
It's tough because I had a hard time telling what was reprint art, original art. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of things happening there, and but yeah, definitely a lot.
These were the big comic pages.
Yeah.
With the little white speech bubbles on them and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is a lot of the Golden Age ones are cheaper because nobody
knows. They're not mainstream. They're not as recognizable.
Now some of them are harder to come by. I mean,
especially like covers. I would imagine the covers would be hard.
Actually, I showed a picture of a Legendary Chamber Chills cover. It went for like $600.
Whoa, that's not bad at all.
No, it shouldn't have. But because the stupid comic auction place, a very well-known one, which I won't get into it, spelt it wrong.
You found it.
Search it.
That's awesome.
And if you were going through by year, you wouldn't be able to find it.
Wow.
And it went to the opening bid, and the guy who got it was like, "You kidding me?" And I mean, he sold it for like, I think $25,000 or $35,000.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I did the CGC thing the very first day, dude, and it was like I walked right up, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I was done. It was really nice.
It's nice having a CGC drop off.
Yeah, dude, that was super cool. Even though I live like 3 hours from Sarasota, but whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say you could drop off at a time. I have a presser in your area who actually drives. Joey Post is his name. He's a well-known presser. I haven't used him in a couple of years since I've been using Paul. But he's down there in Florida. He hand delivers his books to CGC.
Well, that guy from EGX that Tony and Alec have used before for grading, dude, he's literally like 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, nice.
I just go over to the mainland, and I'm right down the road from him.
Nice. Very cool.
Bake the Snake said he'll come on. He's going to Miami SuperCon in July.
Very
nice.
I'm going to try to make that, too. I'm going to try to make the SuperCon as well.
Oh, so you know Chad would be going, too, right? And
yeah, he is going. He was asking on his show tonight if anybody was coming to that.
Very cool. So Bake.
And then if he went, Hialeah would go, Javi would go. So there'd be a couple of the guys from the South Florida crew that would be showing up down there.
Very cool.
Nice.
Caleb,
Dude, the community is the coolest part of all this, bro.
is.
For
It is
real.
Crazy.
I agree with you. I mean, I didn't go. I mean, yeah, I did a little bookshop in the first. Like, I tried to get it out of the way, and then I just did original art by walking around with people in the community saying, oh, "What'd you get? Where'd you get that?" And then I'd get another one, and that's exactly what it was. But I would have gotten that if it wasn't for Cat Ren telling me to go see this guy, and I got a great piece. Or JP's budget collecting. Thanks again. I'm sorry I missed your show tonight because I was supposed to be on with him, but he had a power outage. But his power came on while I was getting ready to do this. But the he got me to get various sketches when I was in Planet Comic Con. It's great. It's like the best part.
And just like whenever go for it.
No, I was just saying I'm gonna have to bounce out of here soon, and I know that Caleb's got an unboxing, and we wanted to talk Tom King. Obviously, there's some excitement in this group, at least for Tom King. And Jason and I are planning a wonderful Heroes in Crisis breakdown, probably a week from Sunday, since the final issue drops Wednesday. A week from
So you're
today.
doing his memorial. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Are we positive that like Heroes in Crisis, the last issue, is coming out next week? Because
I've seen covers, so as far as I know,
I've heard like multiple like rumors on like YouTube
I've heard
videos
it's
from the big ones, yeah, that it got delayed, and
I've
so
heard
like, Doomsday Clock is over.
Resource it was delayed. I've seen all over the place it's been delayed, but I have no confirmation from the DC app.
Right.
I heard it'll end when Doomsday Clock ends.
Exactly. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Well, that's not even ready yet.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, it's just, I feel like it's such a mess of a story. It's like, like, how do we end it? Just tie it in with
no, you don't get to, you don't get no you don't get to start your war of words yet. No.
Dude, Darkseid's gonna show up and kill everybody.
Batman.
All right, we'll talk Batman. All right.
Deceased is gonna spill over into Heroes in Crisis, and everybody's gonna die.
Oh man.
No, so for me, I will say I was somebody that stopped picking up Batman. I will legitimately say it was so inconsistent. I was very frustrated with it, and I stopped reading it. But I will also say that when it was working, it was amazing. And there are issues of that I think are just as good as any other comic I've been reading. There was an issue that was almost all silent with Batman fighting KG Beast in the snow in a cabin, and it was just phenomenal, front to back.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
The way they planned the action, the build-up from the previous issue with Nightwing being shot, the follow-up afterwards. Like, for me, it was, like, excellent. But then there were also, like, a 7-issue dream sequence that was, like, maybe 2 issues were good and the rest were just straight garbage, and that was frustrating.
For me, like, that was all terrible. Like, even the KG Beast thing. I mean, that was King's idea to shoot Nightwing and change his persona. It's like, okay, well, that was a stupid idea. And then the KG Beast thing, like, he left him to die. It's like Batman wouldn't leave anyone to die. It's like, okay, keep doing more uncharacteristic like things, and then like
I disagree. Yeah, go ahead.
It just keeps piling on. Like you can go. I feel like Tom King doesn't read comics. He doesn't know what's going on.
I disagree. I think what Tom King likes to do is take a character that is in some ways very flat and bland and push them to a place they haven't been. And I appreciate that. I don't want to see Batman be Batman and be the same forever. It gets boring. The comic gets boring. So you take a guy who's going through 2 emotional crises at the same time, you're going to get uncharacteristic behavior from that person. He, number one, went through this dramatic wedding thing, which however you want to play it out, clearly would be emotionally damaging. And then his basically his son gets shot in the head. Like, there's going to be an element of splintering happening to the character. So I could appreciate the whole, the way he pushes his characters these ways. Now, whatever happened to Nightwing once, yeah, he wanted to make changes to who Nightwing was, but he didn't write Nightwing. Somebody else is writing Nightwing. So if you don't like what they did with Nightwing, where they took it, that was their plan. He just wanted to give them the open door to take it where they wanted to go. But you can't hang what they do with Nightwing on him because he didn't write Nightwing.
Yes. I mean, Like
That's
even
not
then,
fair.
a lot of his writing like contradicts itself too. Like, yeah, you can say that like he Catwoman wedding thing like ruined him and ruined his mind or whatever. But then like in the nightmares at the end, he's like, oh well, it turns out I don't really love Catwoman, and like that's not even the problem at all. So he's like, okay, well like let's get back to fighting. But then I'm still sad now. It's like this doesn't make any sense. Like,
I disagree there too. I would say that what he's saying in that moment, he's trying. Firstly, I think he's trying to rationalize to himself something, not necessarily all that true. And then second, I think at the same time, he might be coming to the realization that what he thought was a loving relationship wasn't.
even with like all the Booster Gold stuff and
I
the
don't think
gift,
he's
like that
saying,
whole entire
I knew
like
all along I didn't love her. That's not what he's saying. I think he's saying like I was tricking myself. I was forcing myself to believe it was something that it wasn't.
I think when he gets a character, he just does whatever he wants or he thinks that character should act, not necessarily make it to change for the better or in an interesting way that's not dull or basic. Like, I mean, he changed Mr. Miracle in a good way. That was fine, but that was mostly, I feel like it was mostly a self-reflective kind of story as well.
Right.
But, you know,
Jim Lee
as
sucks as an editor.
Yeah, Jim Lee sucks as an editor. He doesn't
again and again and again.
Yeah.
The reason DC is terrible is because of Jim Lee. And
I mean,
he didn't
and yeah,
hire
it goes
Robert
unedited.
Pattinson as Batman. I don't know who did that one, but I'm blaming Jim Lee for that Twilight Night.
Yeah, even like the Booster Gold stuff, like storyline and the gift, like Booster Gold acted uncharacteristic and extra dumb. Inside Heroes in Crisis, Batgirl talked like, oh, you know, well, like I guess maybe is that cool? Hey, thanks, Batman. Like it was like the worst dialogue ever. It was almost like Bendis tried to write a character like that too. He does that with like all the small characters or a girl, any female. He's like, oh hey, I was
write
like, you know,
for anybody outside of a
Yeah.
mega. He could write for Superman perfectly. He
and
could
then like
write.
he even created like a
great
little
on
beef
Iron
between
Man.
Batwoman and Batgirl for no reason inside the Detective 1000. He was like, oh yeah, she's getting all the attention or whatever. It's like, this is not a thing. This is like
Read
not how
Bendis'
anybody acts.
Avengers. Bendis' Avengers. He can't write for sub characters.
Oh my
He
God.
can't do it.
It's just so frustrating. It's like, and then even with like the Flash too, like giving him new powers and stuff. And it's like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Like, you can run to the internet now.
You can't
It's
just
like,
go changing shit
You
on
can't
me.
just do this
They
stuff, dude.
do
Like, it
this
just makes no
all
sense.
the time.
Yeah. So like, I'm like, so like when they announced
Yeah,
Batman
it's
was off
changing.
today, when they said Batman was off, when Tom King was off Batman today, I was like, that's amazing. Like,
You bought a
it
case.
was something what I thought about before, where it was like, okay, well, we know you're the villain's coming up, and we know that Snyder and a lot of like he's kind of gathering everyone's stuff together, and this is going to go on for like until the like mid or like end of November. I was like, okay, well, I started calculating. I'm like, okay, well, Batman comes out like this many times, and like, okay, so how far along with Batman will we be by the time You're the Villain ends? And I think it was like issue 75 or something like that. And I was like, okay, well then he still has to write like 10, 15 issues by himself then, and he can bullshit his way through that. Like, you know, it's like 100 or 20 till 25, I guess, you know, he can probably do it. But then when they said he's off, I was like, this makes total complete sense. And then I saw the solicits for upcoming minis of, I guess him and Bendis are switching. I guess King's going to write Superman and Bendis is going to write Batman. I think for like 5 issues each. I think they're like,
this is terrible.
I think they're mini stories though. I don't think they're even like connected with the actual issues. I think they're like little like mini series, like
and what
5
a
issues
waste
each.
of good art, by the way. I'm going to say this: waste of good art.
Yes, exactly. That's the only
Waste
saviors
of
of Tom
good
King's
art.
stories is good art. Where I think the art is so good in the Batman stories, people mistake it for a good comic because the art is so good, and they're like, "This comic is so good." No, the art is good. The story is shit. So like, I don't know. That's just my opinion on King. And he's been lucky because if you would give him like the art of like the guy who's doing like American Carnage or something, like that would be like terrible art, you know, with like American Carnage by it's on Vertigo. Great story, terrible art in my opinion, but it's worth reading because the story is so good. It's the exact opposite with Tom King, where like you get amazing art and like people mistake it for being awesome, and it's like no, the story is good, bad. So,
Don't hold anything back, man.
I don't know. It reminds me
Just
of
tell us how you
Skinny
feel.
Drew
I
Man.
try to egg him on. I'm trying to egg him on a little bit more. I'm trying to think of more.
but it's just like,
Chew on that Game of Thrones.
oh my god,
Bettina B covers were so
That
good.
guy will run.
Those Bettina B covers were so good too.
yeah.
Cover
We
swipe.
found out he was copying them all, right?
Swipe draw or trace or whatever you did. I don't really care. They
Bear
were really
Island.
good covers regardless.
Bear Island said hashtag free Clayman.
Yeah, Clayman's really one of my favorite guys, man.
He's just held hostage by Tom King.
Clayman
Clayman.
did a lot of good things. I want him back at Marvel, to be honest with you. He needs to get back. I would love him to do a Thor. I've always wanted him to do a Thor.
I'm actually
him and Jason are done. So
yeah, it's funny because like in the Action Comics 1000, King did a good Superman story. I thought it was good, and then also in like Action Comics 1000, Bendis did a pretty decent Batman story. It was all right. But like it'll be interesting to see them. I feel like those are two they should switch. I feel like they'd be better off. You know,
Well,
Bendis is always kind of more into the street level detective kind of. I think he excels at the street level characters, and so I think he'd do
the
well.
1000 issues are not the best. This is my opinion on the 1000s. They were all good stories in all of the books, and then they just went back to writing most of the bullshit that we're used to. That's exactly what happened. Detective 1000 was a good book. Action 1000 was a good book. All those stories, the Bendis, I mean, they were all good stories. Great.
I have both of them and haven't read either.
I mean, they're good. The only thing about them is that when you go to the next, oh, maybe I'm really interested in this Batman, and then you get that Batman, you're like, what is this shit? I took a nap in the middle of reading the 22-pager for crying out loud.
Dude, that's
Sorry.
bad.
Come on.
I love this conversation. It's amazing. And Old Wolf says the same thing. He's loving this. Now, I got to duck out to get over for prep for book club. I really thank Caleb for coming by. You guys keep going. Caleb's going to do a special unboxing here just to finish out. So thanks, everybody, for coming. And stick around. Watch Caleb. He got something very unusual. He's coming out. Thanks, Jason, for a little sneak peek for Heroes of That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, hopefully we end up doing it like in the next week or two. But like, if it's actually delayed, it's like we're gonna have to wait.
We'll just push a week if it's delayed. Yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
JD.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I appreciate it.
Bye, Caleb.
Doing the
Bye, White Whale. Alec. Bye.
So, all right, we're Caleb. What else you got going on? I mean, you're
well, for some reason, JD's contest winnings ended up at my door. He forwarded his prize to me, dude, which is freaking awesome. So thank you. This is from Take the Time Collectibles.
Yes, it was a great contest where he raised money for charities or donated blood. It was all about that. It was great. Good giving back charity. It was a great contest. Everybody was, donating money to various charities, and it was great contest. Really proud of that one.
Oh,
Take the Time Collectibles.
Snap, dude.
Mhm.
Dude, bro. Are you kidding me? Should I do a reveal on this?
Go ahead.
All right, there's the note. You see that?
Yep. There you go.
What,
man.
dude? I've been
that's
looking for this
awesome.
book too, and I didn't pull the trigger at the con, and I'm
There
so
you go.
glad I didn't, dude.
Congrats.
Holy cow! But the one that was attached to it, even better too. Look at that
Yep.
Galactus,
There
dude.
you go. The origin.
Wow, dude, that's
This
awesome.
is epic, bro. Some more Thor.
That's the Thanos storyline right there. That's the Dan Jurgens for all you DC fans. That was his early Thor works.
Thanos! Exclamation mark! Mangog! Exclamation mark!
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yep.
That was a lovely cover.
In the edited one. Yep. That was a classic storyline. One of the best ones.
Silver Surfer in the Rune.
There you go. The
Some
Rune.
Malibu crossover stuff. What's up?
Rune was always good.
Oh yeah.
Barry Windsor Smith.
What if the X-Men had stayed in Asgard? Dude,
That's a
look
good
at
one.
Frog Thor.
Throg? Yeah, dude.
Yes,
I love Throg.
Throg
I
is
love
the
Throg.
man.
Throg is awesome.
And then what if Fantastic Four had lost the trial of Galactus?
Cool.
And this thing's still going. But wait, there's more. What do we got here? Amazing Spider-Man number 9, Rocket Raccoon variant. Dude, come on. Heck yes. I don't have any Rocket Raccoon cover is always welcome in my home, and it will never ever leave again. Dude, this is the greatest thing ever. Captain Marvel and Thor, dude. What? On the cover.
Yep. 57.
Yes, sir.
I collect every Thor versus a hero cover, and I try to get them all in a really high grade and frame them. And I'm going to have a whole thing to put up around my son's room of just Thor beating the crap out of every other hero. So I make sure that he's going to have Thor as a fan.
And it's a newsstand.
It is newsstand. I have that's a 1977, I think.
Dude, this thing keeps getting better and better.
That's 385.
Dude, Thor is the man. But look.
You got a rocket.
Another newsstand. Dude, this one's nice too. This one's super nice. It'll go very well with the rest of them sitting right there.
Yeah.
What? I got 2 of them now. Heck yeah. Best cover ever, dude. Holy cow, this box was like made for me, I swear. Dude, this is awesome. Thank y'all so much.
That's an Arthur Adams cover.
Dude, this is gorgeous.
Dude, that Beta Ray Bill though, man, that's awesome.
Right off the rip, bro.
I was eyeing those up on eBay last night. I just got paid, and I was like, "Ooh, should I?" was like, "Nah, you know what? I gotta save for my Grail. I'm trying to have some self control."
I think it's hysterical that you've all heard me tell this story. That's the first comic book I ever bought with my own money.
Dude, Butterface Thor, man.
And I tell everybody, I'm like, I have mine, and I slab mine. It's in its second slab. You know, yeah, I've taken out it's in its second slab because I've had it for that long in a slab, just because it was my first book with my own money. And now somebody's like, man, that's like a $300 book now. I'm like, I know, it's stupid.
Dude, this is awesome.
$10 all over the place forever. You know, it's great.
This is so awesome. And I was literally looking at so many copies of this at MegaCon. They were over. I just couldn't do it, man. And it was meant to be.
There you go. Well, I want to Take the Time Collectibles for that.
Dude, thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Amazing contest. And JD for forwarding the winnings to me. Dude, that is so cool.
Pay it forward.
That is the coolest thing ever.
So we got John's on the new comic book day stuff. But one thing I just wanted to go over is before we close out, we'll just talk a little bit about the TV shows. And then we'll talk about our channels. Is anybody looking forward to any of the TV shows? What are you looking forward to from Marvel and DC or a comic book related TV show? Now that Game of Thrones is done, what are you watching? What are you going to, because now everybody's going to branch out now to everything else, you know?
Yeah.
What are you going to? What are you looking forward to the most, and what is coming, and what do you?
What I'm watching right now is What We Do in the Shadows TV show. And
I haven't seen that one
hilarious. Like if you like the movie, you get the gist of it. I've
seen the commercials.
I like the shows better than the movie. It's pretty much like Vampire The Office, pretty much like, you know, or Parks and Rec, but with vampires. And it's silly and goofy as hell, man. I love What We Do in the Shadows. It's the best show I've seen in a long time. Like for
and that's on FX.
Yeah, it's on FX. And I just bought the season on PS4 channel, so like it just tells you get a notification when they made a new episode. It gets into your PS4 right away, downloads and everything. It's all good. So yeah, it's hilarious. I'm down for any TV shows, man. Like honestly, anything, especially comic book related. I try to watch them all. Like even if like I don't really dig it so much.
Which one now would you recommend? I mean, Doom Patrol's out there.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get the DC app soon.
Yeah, I had the DC app. I'm more looking forward to
Swamp Thing coming up.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
It's coming up in like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, we're May 31st, I think. It's
Stranger Things is next month also.
Dude, Stranger Things, bro, that's the best one coming. I swear.
So, I mean, well, here's my thing. Netflix, you better, because I don't want to keep you around much longer.
I know.
I'm keeping HBO just for Deadwood.
Dude, they just
Deadwood
Netflix
movie
price
coming out.
Dude. Oh, Deadwood, yeah, dude.
HBO's doing Watchmen as well.
Yeah,
which is kind of aggravating me because which Watchmen are they doing? Grant Morrison or are they doing Alan Moore?
Oh, my buddy Adam Wade Adams talks about The Boys.
The Boys.
Dude, I forgot about The Boys.
That's
getting rid of Amazon.
The Boys, that's coming to what, like Amazon or something?
Yeah, dude, I got it all, man. I got all that stuff, man.
I got Amazon, Netflix, DC app, but I don't have cable TV, so you go figure. I got a Cody. First rule of Cody.
Dude, on cable, I'm watching the 100 right now, dude. I've loved that show from the beginning. It's just it's like a post-apocalyptic society. They lived in a space station for hundreds of years after a nuclear war or whatever, and then sent the children prisoners of the Ark down to the Earth. And so, like, dude, it's wild. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds cool. That sounds like a cool premise.
What
channel is that?
There's like CW.
CW. It's
There's
funny
like
'cause,
5 seasons now or something like
it's like
that.
I don't even necessarily like the CW shows. You know, they're all kind of like campy, but like I watch them all. Like I
do,
always wait
dude.
till like it goes to like to
There's the new
Netflix.
Batwoman. Is that CW?
Yeah.
Mm,
New Batman
yes.
Woman
New-
CW. Yeah, I usually wait till it gets to Netflix and I'll like binge it all like this season. They're so long and so many episodes, dude. They're like 45 minutes, man. And there's like 30 episodes, 25 episodes. Like, oh my god. But
You
like
know what I really like? I'm really digging Cobra Kai, man.
that's
Hey, dude, I
on
watched
YouTube
the
Prime,
first
right?
2
YouTube
seasons
Red?
of that.
What'd you think?
That's on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I loved it, man.
Yes,
I freaking
I
absolutely
I
loved
hear
it.
it's really great. I don't have YouTube Red or whatever.
It's good, dude. It's good.
TJ says Dark Crystal show on Netflix.
Ooh, Dark Crystal, really? Oh, nice.
Haven't
I
seen
thought-
that one yet.
I want to see some more of that kind of stuff. Look, well, actually, Swamp Thing's totally horror based. So that's where I'm thinking it's Alan Moore run, but they're gonna spice it up a little bit. First of all, she better get white hair.
On what?
Abigail Arcane better get white hair real quick. So that's the only thing. Don't mess with the brand. So anyway, what does everybody got going on their channel? Because I'm looking forward to Swamp Thing more than anything else. And Deadwood, that's it.
Dude, Deadwood, man. We
Yep.
got to do a Deadwood series
We
breakdown,
will.
bro.
I think I'm gonna talk to Alec and
Freaking Woo and Swedgen, man.
Will and Swedge is the best.
Yeah. God,
You made these two.
He's like, yeah, you learned that word, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. He has my favorite line. I'm glad. I'm really glad I taught you that word.
Dude, that line killed it, man.
First episode.
First
time you meet Woo.
How many seasons is there now, Deadwood?
There's only been 3, and it's been
Okay.
off for 10 years. And
Oh, wow.
in real time, they're doing a movie 10 years or whatever it is later, 15 years probably.
Holy crap.
They're doing
Dude,
the
this
real
show
time, and
is
it's back there, and it's the same people. Those that haven't died. Powers Booth gone too soon.
dude, and I'm an Oliphant fan, dude. I like Timothy Oliphant.
He does a good job, and he's Sheriff Bullock in that. And then you got the greatest television character. I mean, there's Kramer on Seinfeld. There's
Swedgen.
Al Swearingen is
Swedgen, man,
greatest character ever written for television, and it was the guy you watch when you're like, I can't believe I'm watching this guy say everything that I'd be thinking, you know.
And like he can be so cold, but you love him for it, dude. Like, dude, he is the kingpin of the Wild West, dude.
Yes,
he knows everything that's going on with everybody and how to get to him, bro. Swedgen is that dude.
I'll watch Deadwood. I'll have to watch it.
Bro, it's on HBO. They've got them all on there.
Yeah, there's 3 seasons of Deadwood. 3 kind of just cuts off, and you never really find out where it goes. But the movie is, after the snap, so to speak.
Oh, we got Tom in the house.
What's up, Comic Tom?
How are you? So it's been fun out there. What else we got coming up? Anybody have anything going on their channels coming up?
I was thinking of doing like some comic book reviews or like another parody. It's been a while since I did anything like that. Nice. But it depends if I got the time, and also I want to do a video too. I keep saying it, like on all my issues of Batman holding guns. I want to do a little.
I actually
definitely do that.
Thing is, like I keep like buying stuff on eBay, and so like I'm like, well, I gotta wait till that comes in, and then like, okay, well, and I'll do it now. I'm like, well, now I got this one now. I gotta get that, and I gotta wait for it to come in. So
that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm like, okay, I got this stuff for because I always reach out to you. Have you ever seen this one?
Dude, thank you so much for reaching out. If anyone out there, like on Instagram, or whatever, sees like any cover of Batman holding a gun, like Bruce Wayne pre the Grim Knight, dude, let me know. Like tag me or whatever, because like I want to hunt down like every issue of Batman holding a gun.
There's a lot more than you think.
There is.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a great quest. It's a great quest. I like the one with the holster. That was pretty badass.
On the cover.
That's also he actually used to fly around with a holster in the early techs before he got his own series.
Yeah, dude. There's like one too I saw on eBay where like the front page was missing. I forgot which issue what it was. But he was like straight up just like holding a gun like inside like front page. I was like, yes, like it's like $2,000. I'm like, I
have a friend of mine who's trying to collect every Spectre from the Golden Age. He's a big Spectre fan, and he said that there's one with you think it's Batman holding a gun because the guy's got this thing up like this and he's just shooting a guy. He's like, I wish somebody it was the guy who ended up drawing Batman for one of the, I think it was Kurt Swan or someone like that did a cover that almost copied that exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I always love hearing stories about that. So anyway, guys, we're headed a little bit long. I apologize about that. But heading over to go watch New Comic Book Day on whose channel is that today?
I think it's on John's Comments with Kids because White Whale's out of town, I believe, unless he's back. I'm not sure.
I don't think so yet. He was still looking at property yesterday.
Okay.
It's on White Whale.
It's on White Whales?
No, wait, no.
I think it's on John's Comments with Kids.
Yeah, episode 1.
Oh, it is. There
What
you
is
go.
that Brightburn on, y'all?
That's just a movie in theater. Yeah.
It's in theaters?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's a
by
James Gunn movie?
James Gunn, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It looks
Oh,
awesome.
the bad
Dude,
super
I can't wait for
Yeah.
Guardians 3, man.
When is that coming out?
Next year.
No, not
Or not.
Guardian. When is Brightburn?
I think see,
This week?
sometime soon. Yeah, I feel like it's next week.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
There's something else too. I'm trying to think of.
It.
It's out next week. Yeah, it's right. It too. I saw the trailer for that like last week. I was like,
I still
man.
haven't went and seen John Wick. I need to go see
Dude,
that.
that's where I saw the trailer, dude. Oh, it was so good, man. And John Wick 3 was like awesome, but like it's mostly just fight scenes and like a little bit of story or dialogue. It's mostly there's like barely any dialogue, I feel like.
Dude, number
Part two, I
one
think,
though,
is my
man.
favorite. Part 1 has like the most heart, and then part 2 is like we got a franchise on our hands. Let's throw some money at it, and it's
Yeah.
like awesome.
Exactly
balls
what
to the wall.
happens to action trilogies.
Yeah,
Happened
dude,
to Terminator.
Yep.
Fast and the Furious.
Exactly, dude, exactly. And
I
then
always
like
compare
3,
it to Terminator, man.
dude, 3 is great. Like best fight scenes like you'll see in a long ass time, man. It was some of the best things I've ever seen and most violent, brutal death scenes. It was so awesome and action packed, but like story was like okay, and there's not really a bad guy to hate per se, you know. So like as opposed to 2, you had like a bad guy. He's like, yeah, go get him, John. And 3, it's like he's just kind of running around. And there's some other things I really wanted to see, but yeah, maybe we'll save a John Wick breakdown for another night. But
Very cool.
yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna head out. Have a good one. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah,
Thank
go
y'all.
to White Whale's channel. White Whale, they're doing a breakdown of Teen Titans. So
You got
hopefully
it.
see you all there.
See you guys later.